the suffering of strangers, the agony of friends. There is a secret soul at the center of the world, and its sound is life.
This is Fear a Day. Presented by the Maximum Mediocrity Podcast, a 5-part miniseries documenting our friend Brad's descent into madness as he watches the Human Centipede 2 every day for 31 days straight. On this episode, we talk to him on day 10.
Hello.
How's it going, man? How you doing?
It's going, man. This is it's a process, dude. I mean, last time we talked about this, it was day 2, and now we're in day 10.
Day 10.
I've already watched the Human Centipede 2 this morning, and currently, just for the call, I put it on in the background on mute.
Oh my God. So you're watching it right now? Does that count towards your total?
Nope. It's just on in the background. There's subtitles on it, but I just wanted to double down on the effect for this call.
You have dedication like no other. If there's anything that we can say about you and this project is that you are dedicated like nobody else would be.
I'm trying to do as weird and strange things with it as I possibly can. And, if I feel like if I just half-ass this project, it's not going to be worth it. I have to go full in as much as possible just to really push myself to the edges of sanity.
Have you talked to your therapist yet? When's the last time you checked in with them?
Wednesday.
And what was the report?
She's actually completely curious about it. She did check in, make sure I was feeling okay, made sure that, I wasn't like going too crazy or like really like in a downward spiral. But yeah, she seems really excited to like see where this takes me. And she's very curious about me pushing boundaries. And if I keep thinking of it as an art project and like what I'm doing and putting things together, it puts it into a positive spin for me. It's watching it that's terrible.
Every piece of insanity is okay as long as you have a beret on.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I constantly watch it with a beret all the time.
That's how you know it's an art project. That's how it's legit.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's what art is.
So your therapist hasn't pulled the plug on this yet, so
Nope.
We know that you have at least a mental state that is at least maintainable for the foreseeable future till the end of the month. So
we don't know that. My therapist on Wednesday felt that way, but yesterday I did one of my first experiments in watching the movie. And what I did was I put a set of headphones on, lied down, and closed my eyes and only listened to the audio version of it.
You ASMR'd your movie.
Yeah, well, if there's an opposite of ASMR, that's what it was. Because it was very disturbing because I could still see it in my head. I still saw every single scene. So it almost affected me worse. And I actually, I came downstairs and was just immediately just in a bad mood. I didn't realize how bad of a mood I was until I started talking to Jess, my wife. I started talking to her, and I realized I was just getting really mad at nothing. So I had to go upstairs and have a lie down for a little while before I came back down and apologized for being so mean.
This movie is affecting your marriage.
Yeah. Well, luckily she's an artist as well, so she understands what I'm kind of doing, and what she doesn't understand, she gets that I'm doing this project, and I was nice. I did apologize several times throughout the night, and I was just like, look, I'm really sorry. This is just, I wasn't anticipating having that strong of a reaction last night. Yeah.
But here we are. I wanted to ask you,
Mhm.
just in general,
Mhm.
how do you feel after watching the movie 10 times?
Um, I, I have two responses to it. I have two like simultaneously feels about it. It's Sunday and I've already watched it, so I don't have to watch it again today. And that is a huge relief. But I also know that I have 21 more days to watch it.
Oh my. You're not even at the halfway point.
Not even at halfway.
But
I
you are a
actually,
third. You're past a third.
yeah, I actually, I'm very happy to, I do think also I reached a milestone, because I think it was, like a couple days ago, one of my notes in my notebook was, I already hate this so much and we haven't even reached double digit dates.
Oh. Well, now you have. That's something to look forward to, right?
Now we have, exactly. This is a milestone. Also, I learned something really important because last we talked, I was only on my second day, and I was actually at like the last like 25 minutes of the movie. I forgot how absolutely atrocious the last 25 minutes of the movie are. Like the first like bit of it is kind of boring, and then everything ramps up in the last 25 minutes, and I just it killed me. And I was like, okay, now I know the guidepost. Because when I talked to you, I felt like I was doing okay. And then I put on the rest of the movie right after we talked. And just immediately my mood went down.
So the last 25 minutes is the worst part of the movie?
Bar none. Absolutely. Yeah.
Could you be more specific? Like, what is, if you could point to one scene, what is the worst part of the movie?
There are two things that happened in the last 20 minutes that have bothered me. Last time I talked to you about the pregnant woman. I still think that is the worst scene. The pregnant woman who ends up waking up and giving birth in a car and then smashing her baby with the accelerator and driving away. That one is really bad. I think nothing will top that. But recently, because I've seen that scene so many times, it's kind of desensitized me to it. So I've found like there's two scenes that are linked to one reason why they are terrible. So there's two scenes in that last 20 minutes because the Human Centipede doesn't exist until the last 25 minutes of the movie. Everything else is just leading up to it. And
makes sense. That's the last third of the movie, so that tracks.
Yeah. There's a scene where he takes a hammer and bashes a guy's teeth out.
Okay.
And I have a problem with teeth trauma. It really bothers me. And there's another scene where I am going to connect these two. There's another scene where he puts a funnel down the first woman on the centipede, puts it down her throat and force feeds her like, it looks like it's soup, but it looks like a very thin chowder, which is really gross.
Ugh.
And both of those, I have to mute them because the sound on it is so disgusting. Her like gagging makes me gag and the sound of the hammer hitting the teeth, I can't handle it. I literally can't handle it.
It's disturbing sound design.
Very disturbing sound design. I mean, it's effective for what it's trying to do, but those are I just find those two scenes, one, pointless because they don't affect the movie whatsoever, and two, just utterly gross and disgusting.
I guess you're really starting to appreciate those more finite details when you have to watch a movie so many times.
Yes. Yeah, you do. But the sound design, there's a weird, like, for most of the action in the movie, there's a weird, like, echo to most sounds. So it kind of sounds like garbage most of the time, but then it just ramps it up with these weird, like, very specific things that actually sound good, and it really kind of throws you off. So it's effective in that way.
The film is so terrible that when you do have these moments of greatness, it really stands out. It's a big contrast.
Yeah, well, I did say this under the question of worst parts of the movie, so I wouldn't call it greatness.
Greatness might be a stretch.
Yeah, greatness might be a stretch. It's just because it renders it unwatchable, at least for me.
Well, apparently not too unwatchable.
Fair enough.
I don't think you can call this movie unwatchable. If anything, you cannot say that.
I hate that you're using my logic against me. I hate that because I want to deem it unwatchable, but you're right. I can't say that anymore.
I can say it's unwatchable, and I will absolutely say that on your behalf. This movie is unwatchable. I have never watched this movie.
No one should.
But I wanted to bring something up to you that I learned. I was doing some research on the movie, and apparently there is, in 2015, during the Blu-ray release, they have a full color version of the movie that was released.
Are you kidding me?
Apparently not. I haven't seen it. I cannot confirm that it's real, but I have heard the rumor that there is a full color version. I'd like to bring up that maybe for people who have never seen the movie or haven't even seen stills from the movie, the whole movie is shot in black and white.
Yes. Oh, except for something that I discovered this week, which is absolutely one of the grossest things I've ever seen in my life.
Ooh.
From what I can see, and maybe I'm just going crazy watching this, but I do believe there is only one scene where there's certain things in color.
Ooh.
Yeah, there's a scene where he gives after he creates the centipede, he gives them all laxatives because he's obsessed with having them all, poop themselves. And so he gives them all laxatives. The poop that sprays out onto the camera and against the back wall, that's brown.
Oh, that's the choice that they made. That's the only color.
That's the only color. And it's not even that noticeable because it's not all of the poop. It's just some of the poop.
It's just a fraction of the poop is brown.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, if I can track down the color version of it, maybe we can do a compare and contrast.
Man, because now I just realized it would be interesting to watch the color version. And it would also be interesting to watch the commentary track, because I'm sure there's got to be one.
There has to be.
Man, I would be very curious to hear what they have to say about. Dang it! All right, now you gave me some new projects to go after with this dumb movie.
It's something to look forward to.
Because I can't imagine it in color. I know that sounds weird, but I can't imagine this movie being in color because it's just so disgusting. Everything is so dirty and gross and grody, and because it's like in black and white, I actually think what works with it in terms of like the level of grossness is you don't know what's like dirt and mud and disgustingness and what's blood. And I think the color version would change that for the worse. I don't know where I'm coming from. I just feel like it would be a different perspective. Because
in the movie, it's all just kind of like this dark liquid, so it's just filth. You don't know. And maybe that's part of the subtle nuance of the film is that you have to interpret it yourself.
Yeah, I think in color it wouldn't work as well as it does. Oh my God, that's terrible. So I really do believe that if it's in color, that's a worse version.
Well, because now you have to see more of the movie.
That's also true.
So I want to check back in with you on a few things to see if anything's changed from the last 7 days that we discussed last time.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any new fan theories? The last time you said you think that the whole movie never actually happened and that it all took place in the main character's head. Is there anything that you'd like to maybe expand on or any new theories that you've come up with?
before I start that, I do want to say that I'm currently watching the scene where the main character is watching the Human Centipede and wraps sandpaper around his penis and masturbates to it.
Oh, I just threw up in my mouth a little.
Yeah, no, that's why I'm telling people don't watch this movie. So fan theory that it didn't happen? Nope. I've watched it a few times. That fan theory was wrong, and the ending proves it. I thought it was because he just didn't get arrested, and maybe it all happened in his head. Nope. It all happened. The ending proves it happened. No fan theories here. No additional ones. Just complete and utter sadness.
So fan theory 1 is out.
Fan Theory 1 is out. We'll see if I get any more, but at this point, Fan Theory 1 has been disproven by the movie itself.
Well, it's a good thing you watched it 7 more times. That way we could really put the nail in the coffin on that. I think that's worth the watches.
Yeah, it's worth it to figure that out.
Fair enough. What is the best part of the movie for you right now?
Other than credits rolling? The main character, Martin, his mom is right now my favorite part of the movie. She is such a terrible actress, but it works so well. It works so well. And like her line readings of every piece of dialogue she has are perfect. I can't imagine anyone else reading them. And I've just like there's a scene where she's just sitting. They're eating breakfast together at like a tiny table. And she just goes, I can't even do it justice. She's like, I've decided to kill both of us. Out of nowhere. She doesn't act on it. She just continues eating breakfast.
I've decided to kill both of us.
Yeah. It's so good. Her line readings are perfection. I absolutely am obsessed with this woman. I looked her up to see if she's been in anything else. Barely. Her, like, most of her credits are like woman number 2.
It's probably Johnny Six's number. Mother.
Yeah. Yeah, probably. Yeah, Tom Six. Yeah.
It's probably Tom Six's mother.
You just confused Tom Six with Johnny Five. You just portmanteaued him, Johnny Six.
They could create one mediocre artist between them. Because you have one really good artist and one really terrible one.
Dang right. Yeah, so that's my favorite. That's my favorite part right now. Is I just keep every single scene with the mom. I have to watch because it is just it's so fascinating. I can't take my eyes off of it doesn't. I think she's wearing a wig too, but I also think her hair's just weird. I don't know.
She's an enigma. Yeah,
I'm trying to figure out if it's a wig, but I can't put my finger on it yet. But yeah, that's the sleuth work, the detective work I'm trying to do.
Most great movies, there's the movie that you're watching and the story that you're watching, but there's also the overarching story. As you know, there's always another story happening beyond the movie that we're watching.
Mm-hmm.
What is the real point of the Human Centipede 2?
Everyone sucks. I don't know. That's I think my problem. Everything's hollow. Nothing. Like the guy just starts creating. Like he starts the movie. He's obsessed with with the movie The Human Centipede, and he sets out to create a human centipede, and he creates a human centipede. There's nothing there. There's not even extras in the movie. Every single person who appears has a role in the movie. Like there's nothing. There's no substance to it whatsoever. I wish that's actually, I'm glad you asked that question, because that's one of the things that's been bothering me in the past week is there's nothing here. It's nothing. And so one of the things that I talked about, or one of the things that I took notes on, was that it took all the wrong lessons from the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, because the Texas Chainsaw Massacre created like a universe. These people were gross and cannibals and things like that, but they also had the reason they were doing it was because the town that they were living in was collapsing, and they worked at this slaughterhouse, and their methods were going by the wayside because there's they created something. They created a
There's
world.
a reason. There's a story being told.
Yeah, it actually makes it doesn't make sense because they also became cannibalistic murderers. But this movie, there's nothing there. His motivation to kill is I assume it's because he was sexually abused as a child, and he seems to have like mental issues, like cognitive disabilities, but it's not explored. I think like that seems to be the reason, but there are people who go on and live and don't create human centipedes. There's no like.
At least that's what we understand. Well, I've heard that.
Yeah, there's no like catalyst to his crimes. It just starts happening.
He just decides to start doing it.
Yeah, for no reason.
Interesting. So it's it's like the fast food nothingness of a movie.
It's hollow.
That's a fair assessment after having to watch a movie 10. Now I guess I'll say 10.5 times because you're halfway through it right now.
Yes. Yeah, actually, about 37 minutes. Oh, I am about to come up with the funniest scene ever, which I'll save that for another time.
Yeah, save that one for next week. I need you to mill on that for 7 days.
Yeah, there actually is a scene that every time I watch, I kind of laugh at. So, because I think it's genuinely funny. So I'm gonna turn away while it happens because I will laugh at it.
This is a little teaser. For next episode.
Absolutely.
We get to hear Brad's funniest scene in the Human Centipede 2 full sequence.
Yes.
I can't wait to hear about it. And never see it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, no, you shouldn't see it. That's true.
Is there any closing remarks that you'd like to make on this past week?
I think, don't do what I'm doing.
Of course, naturally.
Yeah. Don't watch it once. Don't watch it more than once. And, I don't know. I'm going to say this just because this has been fun, these 2 interviews. Make art, make weird art, do weird things, and people will take notice. And the weirder the art, the more kind of interesting things we can put out in the world.
I couldn't have said it better myself. Brad, thank you so much for checking in with us. I'll talk to you in 7 days.
Absolutely. See you then.
Bye.
Bye.
This has been the second episode of Fear a Day, presented by Maximum Mediocrity. If you would like to hear the rest of this series, please consider subscribing. Our theme song is Unbearable by Dominant.